Hello from Baseball Land. It's a little crazy. I've been getting prank called for the last 5 minutes by some kids with no caller
We
ID.
thought it was you, Brad.
We thought it was Bradley at first, but it's not.
Tom?
Anyway,
Yeah. It wouldn't be me.
it wouldn't be. You wouldn't prank me.
I'd prank other people, but not you. So watch out.
All right, go hang out with mom.
Okay.
Wait. You're gonna trip.
Yeah, you're tangled in my wire.
No, I'm not.
You want to show them your new Jellycat?
Oh, this is the.
Oh wait, they want to see the 6'7". Do it.
Oh, do it, Brad.
No.
Give me something,
Come
Brad.
on, Brad.
How do
Be cool.
you
Be cool.
know?
Go.
Because look, 6'7". See
Go,
in the chat.
6'7".
6'7".
No, you gotta do. My sister was 6.
No, I'm not doing that.
My sister was 6, and
No,
now
I'm
she's
not
7.
doing that. I'm not.
6, 7.
I'm not doing that.
I'll answer this in a second. Are you doing it, Brad?
I
Do it.
did it. I just did it.
All right, give me a kiss. I love you.
Okay, bye bye.
Bye-bye. She's ridiculous. Okay, quick answer to this question before we start jumping into this baseball. What were my big 4 sports teams growing up? Yankees, Knicks, Islanders, Giants. My dad said, Grandpa says hi on the...
Oh, hi.
Boo, he said
how's
boo.
He feeling?
He said boo. He tried to scare you with the
How's
boo.
he feeling?
Ah.
How you feeling, Pop? How's your knee? Anyway, he'll probably write in the chat. But game's off. He says getting there. He says
Tell
getting
everybody
there.
what you call Daddy's dad. What's his name?
I don't.
Sorry
What
about
do you
that.
call John as? What's John's name?
I don't say
Papa John.
All right. Let me do the stream.
anything.
Guys are ridiculous. All right. Talking about the big 4 sports. All right. So my old man grew up in Long Island, so that's why Islanders.
You call him Papa John old?
Yeah, the old man, my dad and my uncle. So I would say Islanders. And then Knicks, of course. Nets came to Brooklyn, but they're from New Jersey, so they can beat it. Giants over Jets, although I've had an affinity for both, probably. And then, Yankees over Mets, but I've always liked both. So that was me growing up. Didn't really hate any of the teams really, but those are my preferences in New York. College football, I guess when I watched that, I used to root for Notre Dame. A little bit. College basketball growing up, I used to root for Syracuse, Big East school, Syracuse, UConn, Villanova, etc. Anyway. All right. This is where we are currently at. I'm sure you guys have been watching this pretty good game 5 so far. Brewers up 2-1. Bottom 5. Mizorowski's been pitching awfully well. We no way this game last night in this the Spectre's talking about. I stayed up. I fell asleep a little bit, not gonna lie, between the 12th and the 14th, and then ended up seeing what happened. Obviously, sucks that my guy was out there to give up the last run of the season there for the Tigers, Canely. But I rewatched his outing on the iPad. It wasn't that bad. It was just one hit batter and then some decent swings on some tough pitches. But overall, what a game, huh? Unbelievable pitching. Unbelievable pitching yesterday all around. I was really impressed by the Mariners starters that came out of the pen. Gilbert, Castillo. Those guys were on short rest. They did a great job. I thought the hook for Kirby seemed a little early for me, but I know they were terrified of the matchup with Carpenter, and then he clips him anyway. So, dude, that game was crazy. Hopefully this one we're not in for the same thing. Feel for Canely, should have thrown fastball up and in, but it's Canely's going to throw a changeup. What's crazy is he actually I'll leave this up here while we look at this for a sec. He actually threw fastballs last night. I watched it and I was like, are they going to sit all over the changeup? He needs to throw some fastballs. So you can see here, Tommy threw 6 fastballs, 10 changeups last night. Fastball looked really good, actually. Velocity was solid. He was averaged 94.1, 95.4 on the peak velo. So I wouldn't have minded to see him stick with the fastball, especially after I read the comments after the game, Polanco, and I think the whole team definitely keyed in on the changeup, which is tough not to do when you're throwing such an epic amount of changeups in the regular season. Where did Tommy land this year? In the regular C's? Hold on. He was, 86% changeup. So, yeah, so it's pretty easy to sit on one pitch. I did think his fastballs were okay, but yeah, got beat on a changeup, to be expected. I think it's just gotten to the point where people are looking for it for sure. Also, this is a good comment here. Sad we don't see Tarek in the postseason anymore. Oh my God, this guy is absolutely incredible, by the way. Like, he just gets better and better every time. 6 innings, 2 hits, 1 run, no walks, 13 strikeouts in 99 pitches, and all Przinsky could freaking talk about the whole game was his pitch count. Get him out of the game, and it kind of did work. They did get him out of the game after 6. So that kind of started the whole chain of events. But yeah, you're looking at my lifetime pass.
Yeah, it's golden and I like it.
Yeah, it's cool.
It's shiny.
But Scooble was incredible. We'll watch the strikeouts here in a minute. Big shout out to some of the hardcore pitching in this game. Vest, 2 innings, 1 hit, no walks, 4 strikeouts, as the Cubs just got a 0 in that inning. I wanted to point out something with Vest. He was tired. He might be tired, but he's still through 2 scoreless. Look, velo is down. Fastball velo is down 1.3. I noticed that this morning when I looked over this stuff. But he still was effective. He's got a 0 ERA right now in the playoffs. And he's been a huge reason why the Tigers had any shot to compete in this series. They end up not winning. Oh, the prank call tried to get me again, but I didn't answer it. I missed it. I'll put it back on speaker if they come in. But yeah, masterclass all around. Obviously, Schoolball's the nastiest pitcher. It's gotten to the point where it's just absurd how good he is. Also, Troy Melton. I need to look into more on Melton. I read a little bit that he's a pretty big prospect, and at first I thought his fastball pitch shape wasn't great, but watching him last night, there's got to be an extension factor there. There's some splits. Montero was very well composed. Flaherty definitely talking to himself a lot. Somebody commented on that right here. Flaherty was like having a full-on chat with himself the whole time he was pitching, but I think that's sometimes good, just bring the self-talk to light. That can only help you. Also, on the other side of things, from the winning club here, I mentioned Gilbert, who threw 2 innings, and Castillo, who threw 1 1/3. But how about Bizzardo? Bizzardo came in a horrendous situation and tore it up with sinkers, exploding people's bats. Incredible work by him. So you got to give all the pitchers the credit in this game. It was a thin margin, and obviously it ends with Seattle advancing. So we'll have Seattle, Toronto. We'll break all that down next. But after we get through these 2 games that we have to look at, the one that's going on, and obviously we're going to watch more of this Tigers game. But it will be, Tigers Mariners game, but it will be Mariners Blue Jays. I do think these are the best 2 American League teams when it's all said and done. Oh, hold up.
Thomas.
Yes.
Thomas, where's your babysitter?
In the other room.
Thomas, how old are you?
7.
Why aren't you asleep?
I'm pretending.
What are you pretending? To be 7 or asleep?
Sleep.
Thomas, who do you want to talk to?
Adam.
If I let you talk to Adam, will you stop calling tonight?
Yes.
Do you promise?
Pinky promise.
Okay, I'm going to give you Adam, but then you have to stop calling because it's really late and you need to go to bed.
Okay, I'll go straight to bed.
Hi, Thomas.
Hi, Adam.
What's up, man? What do you need?
It's an honor.
Are you a baseball fan?
Yes.
How'd you get my number?
Random.
You did some internet searching or something, maybe? I need to really clean that up. We need to really tighten things up around here.
You're my favorite player. I love the sweeper.
Oh, you like the sweeper. Oh, big time.
It's my favorite.
It's your favorite? What team did you like me on?
Yankees.
Ooh, Yankees. Okay. Okay. Appreciate that.
No problemo.
All right. Well, have a great night, Thomas.
You too.
I have to go do my live stream now.
Okay.
All right. Nice to meet you. Thanks for being a fan. It's on YouTube. You'll see yourself. If you go on, you'll hear yourself talking because you're live on the internet right now.
Oh, hello, everybody.
Tommy has to go to bed now, though. That was the deal.
Yeah, all right. Everybody on my chat says you need to go to bed.
Okay, good night.
All right, good night. Good night, Thomas. Bye. All right, so first ever random prank call during the show. My daughter thinks it's great,
That was so funny.
but ridiculous. Yeah, now what the only problem is I can't block them, Jung Z, because they keep calling with no caller ID. So I can't even block the kid. Ay, ay, ay. What are you going to do? Ooh, we just had a hit by pitch. The Cubs have something brewing here in the 6th. We'll check up on that in a second.
We're going to bed.
All right. Good night. Love you, girls.
I love you.
Love you, Daddy.
All right. Love you, too.
Good night.
Good night, everybody.
All right. Let's watch a little bit of this game from yesterday. Tigers and Mariners. I mean, not that you can cover the whole thing. You really can't. It's way too much. This game was freakishly absurd. But I guess the first place to start is Scooble. Let's watch Scooble just decimate some people. Julio Rodriguez, 3-pitch strikeout. Backdoor slider. That's where I was calling for it. Stop throwing the slider middle into righties. Get it to the back door, and it's game over. He does it right there. Four seam, 98.5. Too fast and too high, and then change up. So he gives them all 3 pitches. And undresses Julio right there. Then we got Polanco. Oh, Polanco, you know he wanted a piece of Polanco after last game. I mean, this is what I was saying when he threw him the slider middle in that first game. That was a mistake. Changeup bends the knee. If you get your swing looking like this, you're not on that pitch, sir. Then we got Eugenio Suarez. Another changeup. It's just like the changeup tunnels so well. His whole setup tunnels so well because look at the distance away from the plate. I mean, this pitch is over here. The bat is like over here. He is nowhere near this thing. And honestly, Eugenio Suarez, I love you, man, but you look like you were trying to hit a home run every single pitch that you swung at. The whole game yesterday, and it was driving me insane. In extra innings, I'm like, just go the other way one time. Stop trying to hit a home run every time. These pitchers are nasty. But that's not how it went. And we are going to watch the Josh Naylor run score in a second because it was freaking beautiful, but I just want to keep watching the strikeouts. A lot of changeups. Also, Dan Wilson going with a heavy mustache these days. I don't know if that's in solidarity with some of his pitchers, but you see this stash right here? This little coach stash? Man. I'm feeling it. I'm not going to lie. It's pretty good. But anyway, he was just watching his boys get absolutely destroyed by Tarik Skubal. Tarik Skubal is so fucking good that I'm running out of words to even talk about. All he does is just rams it down their throat, and then he gets them on the heater, and he throws the changeup. And if they're on the changeup, they got no shot to hit the heater. Here's 100 miles an hour, and Crawford, swing now. Swing now. A Rosarena, changeup. And we'll see you later. Exploding helmet. Exploding helmet swing. Disgusting. I like this comment. You know, if it brings wins, then you'll be seeing it. I had it a little bit last year because I was on a little bit of a scoreless streak going, and then I got clipped by somebody, and I had to get rid of it. Ooh, Brewers making a pitching change. Patrick's coming in. All right, here's Cal Raleigh. He's going to punch out on 100.6. This is also what I could tell Scooble was just in fuck you mode out there. You could just see it. He's like, oh, you think you're MVP. 100.6, bye, you sucker. That's so nasty. He's so good. It's almost too easy for him. Julio again. To start game 1 of the World Series in their prime, DeGrom or Scooble? This is a tough question. My God. Jake's the best pitcher I've ever seen, I think. But Scooble's approaching that, man. He really is. He hasn't had the 1 point something ERA year that I think he could probably throw up at some point. But, geez, man. He's got sub-1 whips for days. Like last 3 seasons, I would say. Oh, Polanco. You know he was coming for blood with Polanco after the 2 homers last time. Makes him bend the knee for a second time. See ya. Suarez again. Fastball. Yep, that up in, you're nowhere near that. I mean, look at that. He is so low below that. I mean, look at this. I mean, it's hard for me to go against DeGrom to answer this question in the chat. Very hard. Look at that. Nowhere near that. Not even freaking close, Gino. Suarez is unreal. I mean, Scooble's unreal. But it's getting close. I mean, you see these performances. These are arguably better than some of the Jake playoff performances. I know he had some epic ones in 15, going against the Cubs and the Dodgers, bend not break situations. And I you know, Jake's one of my favorite people too. I love him. But he was not bullying people in the playoffs like Scooble is, right? I mean, Scooble's just making it's a joke. It's a freaking joke. Every outing, it's like as good as he was in the regular season, he was holding something back. Because these outings are ridiculous, and just the changeup, man. The ball, he hasn't caught the ball yet. He hasn't caught the ball yet, and the bat is over here. The bat's over here. That's how far out in front he is. Mitch Garver. Look at that. Still hasn't caught it yet. Bat's gone. Incredible. Incredible. Incredible to make Major League hitters miss by that much. It really is. J.P. Crawford, you're going to get another one. It's insane. It's too bad he didn't have his pitch count where he needed it, or he could have went stupid, like 17, 18 strikeouts in this game. Also, typically when you let out a scream like this, you're probably done. 101. You're probably done when you do this. So, I don't know. Either way, he did a hell of a job. He has nothing to hang his head about. I know he somehow mysteriously went 0-4 versus Detroit this year as the team, but he's got nothing to worry about. If the cam was directly behind the pitcher, the changeup was literally in the other batter's box. I know. It's unbelievable. It looks like it's trending towards the zone, and obviously they have to respect his strike throwing ability with the fastball. And then they get on the fastball timing, and then the changeup parachutes out of there. But it's just crazy how far away out of the zone he's getting chase. And the numbers on it last night were crazy too. If we go look at this. Scooble last night, he got, okay, this is what I wanted to say. He threw 99 pitches in this game, and they freaking swung at 62 of them. That is a crazy swing rate. That's a 63% swing rate for a game. Is wild. So they were well aware he was not going to walk him and that he was going to fill up the strike zone. And they tried to be aggressive, and it completely backfired outside of the nailer thing, which I'm about to show. But 26 whiffs, 42%, outstanding. And look at the changeup whiff rate. 14 whiffs on only 18 swings. 78% whiff. And then, yeah, the chase rate, 47% chase. 47% chase is wild. He crushed it. This is one of the better outings I've seen in a while. He literally crushed it. What's crazy is he didn't get one whiff on a sinker, slider, or curveball. They were only on four-seamers and changeups. Yet, that was more than enough. I also like the fact that he bullied them with a lot of four-seams. He's just so good. It's a simple game, but it's not a solvable game. You have to guess right. You have to execute really good in the box. Anyway, let's get to Josh Naylor, who created a run all by his damn self in the second inning. And really showed me something here a little bit. Like this is a guy who I really like his game. You know, if there's a little bit of a hockey player element to him. I know he got a little big for his britches against Garrett. To be fair, he has kind of raked against Garrett, but he got a little big for his britches in that game a couple years ago. But I just love the battle in this guy. Like, he does fall behind here. He's facing the best pitcher in the world, left on left. Like, he gets to 1-2 after this pitch. And then he's just like, I'm going to keep swinging. I'm going to keep swinging, and I'm going to find a hit eventually. Here's a foul ball on a slider. I mean, look, that pitch is like a foot off the plate. Technically, it's a bad swing decision. Technically. But to Frozen Straub's... To Frozen Straub's point here, Tony Gwynn, Todd Helton, Wade Boggs. Obviously, there's some Derek Jeter in here. You know, just I'm going to foul it off. I'm going to foul it off. And then here's the pitch he gets the double on. 102 mile an hour sinker, I believe, off the plate again. Yeah, way off. Just touches it, but puts it in play. 89-4 to the opposite field and gets on with a double. I mean, this swing is just absurd, but he was willing to do whatever it took. So the pitch is equally as far away. It's 100 miles an hour running away from you. And a little dink and doink swing. Unbelievable. Another guy whose swing I don't really understand. He's got this big setup, very wide. He leans back in his setup, but he just finds a way to just do shit, get hits. Obviously, the stolen bases this year make no sense from him. I think he's one of the slowest guys by sprint speed in the big leagues, and yet he stole 30 bags. And that shows up right here in this at bat where his little sneaky self is able to get himself to third here, I believe, on the second pitch. No, third pitch. And that makes the job a lot easier for Garver. He doesn't have to get a hit. He just has to get a sac fly. And just a phenomenal read. Kind of lulls Skubal to sleep. This is the type of guy that when he's on base and you're pitching, you don't necessarily think about him too much. But you got to. You got to. It's timing. And he reads them really, really well here. Skubal just looks at home the whole time, never does anything different, as far as I can tell. Let's look at the high home. I mean, you see the jump. But either that's good scouting or just a reckless abandon, but whatever it is, it works. You can see how early he goes before Skubal even throws. So he's pretty confident that once he turns his head around, he's pitching home. That's why we were always taught to do the look at home, do whatever with the runner, and turn and go at the same time rather than look at home and stay there and then throw. Because if they know that you're going to look at home for a beat and then go, they can time that. So Naylor does that, and he basically creates this whole run on his own because after that, it makes the job a lot easier for Garver. He's just trying to put the ball in play. He doesn't necessarily have to get a hit, and that's what he ends up doing here. Unclear why he didn't throw him another changeup, honestly, because Garver looked horrendous on changeups. But he is able to put that fastball in and get the Mariners on the board. And since runs were so hard to come by here, this was a huge freaking play in this game. And I want to give big credit to Josh Naylor for creating that run literally by himself. That was really, really impressive. It's pretty cool that him and his brother are also both in the show at the same time. I love that. He's just an interesting player. I mean, sprint speed, 3rd percentile, 24.4 feet per second in sprint speed, and yet 30 steals. So how does that happen? How does that happen? One, you sneak up on people. Two, you study the pitchers and you know their tendencies. Three, you have a little crazy in you, not afraid to fail. And it's just picking the right spots and having a good feel for the game. So I'm really credit. I really credit Josh Naylor with creating that run on his own and just with his overall baseball savvy. It's a little bit of an unorthodox game, but unorthodox works. I mean, this year he hit 295, 353, 462, 815 OPS. He's a very productive player in an awkward kind of way, but the type of guy that I feel like anybody would like to have. Anybody would like to have. It's a different style at the plate. He's going to bring an edge to your team. I think this was a big move by the Mariners and a big part of the reason why they are through to the ALCS versus Toronto, and he gets to play against his hometown team from Mississauga, Ontario, which is right outside Toronto, basically a sister city. So pretty cool that he gets to play the Jays in this big moment. And yeah, there's also the youngest of the Nailers is with Oakland too. Insane baseball family. That's just the coolest thing ever. When you can have a whole bunch of people playing pro ball, rooting for each other, helping each other out. It's so dope. And usually the youngest of the siblings is usually, becomes the guy because you got to learn from the lessons of the older one. Like the Bichettes. Older Bichette was a first round pick. Didn't really pan out that well, but Bo probably learned a lot watching him. That sort of thing. So anyway, I find that interesting. What else we got here in the chat real quick before we keep going? Naylor used to play hockey with my brother. I freaking love that. See, he's got those hockey vibes. He's got those Canadian hockey vibes, which is not a bad thing to bring to the ballpark. It's really not. You need an energy guy like that. Ooh, Babe Vaughn is up at the plate for the Brewers. Andrew Vaughn hit another homer. Shocker. They have very high baseball IQs and they do the work scouting. And that's the big key. Soto, there's some talk about Soto doing it too with the steals. Antoine Richardson gets a lot of credit and deservedly so. But you have to have the confidence to go, the willingness to get thrown out and not, stress about that too much. You're convicted in what you see and in your studying, and then you take advantage of that. That's really the key to getting these bags, whether you're fast or not. Obviously, it helps to be fast. But it's pretty interesting that some guys who aren't as fast are become really good base stealers in this new era. And I think it's cool. It's different. Let's see. Yeah, this is a good comment too. Naylor had that dirt on his chest for a really long time in this Wago. Where is that? Can we get a good look at the dirt on his chest? I think it's for after he steals, right? Yeah, so when he comes home to score here. Yeah, look at that dirt. You see all that dirt? That was on his chest for a while. Good call, Jem. I kept thinking that, man, he's got dirty-ass uniform in like over a 4-hour game, which is rare with the pitch clock. So almost 5-hour game. Heard Keith Hernandez talking about Soto and Richardson about it and said it's all scouting and timing. 100%. Scouting and timing. The amount of tipping that guys do, whether they're going to pitch or pick, is actually crazy. It's not something that we've honed in a lot on as pitchers, but it's definitely a big factor now. So it's something to lock in on moving forward if you're a pitcher. Work to have your setup when you pick off and when you pitch home identical every time. That way you don't get caught slipping. All right, what else we got? Your parents need to adopt a kid to create an even better Ottavino. Maybe my son will be the next hope, He'll learn from me. We'll see. We'll see if he likes baseball. Every time I say, hey, Arch, you want to go play catch? No. Trucks. So that's where we're at right now. That kid was amazing. That was ridiculous, huh? Little prank call. He hasn't called back. He tried to break through and get to me for a while, and Brett talked to him. And then eventually she was like, all right, if you talk to him, will you stop? So that's pretty good. Can anyone figure out the substance causing the yellow staining on all the Mariners pitchers? There's a yellow staining somewhere? Little information on Jackson Wiggins and a brother at Arkansas. Both are 100. That's pretty good. That's pretty good. Hold on. I got to turn the AC on. It is OD hot in here. OD hot.
Mom wants to know if Thomas called again.
No.
Good.
No more Thomas.
No, because I heard the thing where he goes, stranger danger.
Stranger danger.
Stranger
I
danger.
know, that was crazy.
That was really funny. And then the hi everybody.
Oh, I know. He wasn't flustered at all that he was on the stream.
I felt like he would be like, oh.
Yeah. All right, go to bed. I gotta talk baseball.
Wait, I thought you were done.
No, I'm not done. I was just putting the air conditioning on.
Oh, hi everybody.
Okay, bye, lady.
Okay, bye, Dad.
Bye.
Where did my phone go?
Oh. So you're asking about the pitchers with the stuff on their skin? Oh, it's big league rub, big league cheese. Hot stuff mixed usually with like anti-inflams as well. I used to use, especially as I got older, I used to use the Red Hot mixed with the Voltaren. Some people have like a numbing agent that they put on as well. Anything you can do to like either not feel your arm or feel your arm, whichever one you're trying to do. They were nasty. And like the shirt, if you would look at my pitching shirt, because I always pitch with long sleeves, my right sleeve would be way darker from all the goo that was on my arm pitching. And even though it would get washed, it would be crusty and kind of like, it would just age bad, the sleeve, because it had been through so much. And it would get like dark and kind of stiff, and the other one would look perfectly good. And if you really want to key in on that, watch Edwin Diaz. Edwin Diaz, same thing. If you watch his sleeves, his right sleeve is super dark compared to his left sleeve, and it's because of all the stuff he puts on his arm. So yeah, that's what we use. We use a special combination, which is what a lot of people do now. It's not just Red Hot. They put like Voltaren or Indocin or Toradol or whatever in these things, you know, especially this time of year where it's like lay it all out there time of year. Sometimes you need a little help. Ooh, I see my drunk uncle, Andrew Kittredge, is in the game. He's so nasty, though. Ripping 91-mile-an-hour sliders. No, that's not sticky stuff. This stuff I'm talking about is just to it's just to get your arm hot. So like, it's better than it being cold. You're just thinking anything you do, and sometimes if you have pain in your arm, you'll like literally try to numb the pain by just basically overpowering your arm with heat. Oh, it can stain your jersey, 100%. 100% it can stain your jersey. Oh, yeah. It gets on everything, especially if you don't wear long sleeves, because then, like, if it's all over your bare arm, or you're wearing a 3/4 sleeve and you touch your jersey at all, it's going to come off. Like, it's a lot thicker. Anyway, this is all very, it's very whatever. All right, I want to watch the other big moment in this game. Now, George Kirby did some interesting stuff in this game. For one thing, he threw a freaking shitload of sliders. Literally a crap load of sliders. We're still in Seattle pitcher. Oh, wait, here we go. Yeah, George Kirby, 33 sliders. So 50% slider yesterday. That's abnormal for him. In his previous outing, which we scouted on Baseball and Coffee, headed into this game, he had been heavy sinker, like, and almost very few four-seamers and really not a ton of sliders. And I said I think he's going to go more off-speed this outing, possibly. But yeah, dude, 50% sliders, crazy. He really leaned on it, even though he wasn't getting huge whiff in this game. He ends up with 28% whiff. I mean, he was still quite effective. I think George is one of the best pitchers in the game, but it just shows you the difference between him and a Skubal. You know, he makes it work because he's really good at executing, but he's not necessarily bullying you to the level of a Skubal in terms of whiffs and just unhittable pitches. He's got really good pitches, but he has to stick and move and change up his mix a lot. So all those sliders was interesting. Anyway, he ends up getting pulled because they're terrified of him facing Kerry Carpenter, because Kerry Carpenter had clipped him, I believe, 4 or 5 times already in the career. But it sets up this at-bat with Gabe Spire left on left, and Carpenter ends up clipping Spire anyway, which is just, I'm sure Dan Wilson just felt like, oh my God, you're damned if you do, you're damned if you don't. This is also impressive too, because he He brushes them off really good up and in. And yet he goes ahead and sticks his neck in here on this next fastball and launches it. I mean, kaboom. He's got that teacher man, judge swing. He's perfected it. He really has. It's an interesting little swing where he kind of like just kickstands onto his back leg. I'll show you from the side. Just kind of, yeah, like, it's just like a weird, like, it's not a big kick, but he just like lifts the foot off the ground, which has almost no weight on it anyway. All the weight's on the back leg here, 100% in this hip and in this back of the knee. And he just kind of just tries to launch from a back point. But I don't know, man. He's pretty quick to the ball. It's definitely made him much more consistent. And honestly, you got to give this style credit, because I never heard of Kerry Carpenter before this. And now he's a freaking problem, man. They're bringing in special guys to get him out, and he's still whacking homers off him. So big credit to him. That was the biggest swing of the night for Detroit. That's all of their 2 runs right there. And for a little moment there, it looked like Detroit had this game all cleaned up. What else we got here? Yeah, Munoz we're talking about with sliders too, but he always throws a lot of sliders, correct? I didn't think that was abnormal. I mean, sheesh, 22 sliders, 3 fastballs. Maybe I'm wrong. That's a lot of freaking sliders. How many did Munoz normally throw? His velo's down though. Munoz doesn't look right. He looks like he's worn out a little bit to me, but at the same time, he's still getting it done. 55% slider. Versus lefties, 46. So 50% slider in the season, and then there's a mixture of fastballs, a couple changeups. So yes, this was abnormal. Way more sliders. Good call in the chat. Very, very good call, Marcus. Tons of freaking sliders. You're right. I don't know what he had done early in the series. I hadn't watched too much of his outings this series, if he pitched much, but yeah, velo's down almost 3 miles an hour on both the fastball and the slider, so it's a little interesting. What about the movement numbers? Movement was fine, but yeah, I don't know. Little abnormal, something definitely to pay attention to as we keep moving. As we keep moving. Trevor May was saying that by the end of the season, everyone is very sore. How much does something like, I don't know what talkative is, but like Toradol, you probably mean? I mean, it's just the time of year, man. Like you're definitely hurting, but you're used to being hurting at this point. So you're just gonna give everything you got. This is definitely when the teams are a little looser, giving out the drugs like the Toradols of the world, which basically make you feel nothing. All the anti-inflammatories of the world, to make sure that you're in tip-top shape to pitch. They're throwing everything at you, whatever it takes. So that's kind of where you're at. Extra hot stuff in the hot container. You go from like Kramer Jezik, which is the lightest, to Atomic Bomb, which is medium, to Red Hot, which is the hottest, and then above that there's usually what we call the cheese. The cheese is like a prescription hot stuff. Not many people use it. You have to be a little tapped in the head to use the cheese because it burns so bad that if it's a hot day out, you like can't sit still with this stuff on. But like Canley, of course, was one. Nick Punto used to have his own mix called Mucho Punto, and it was the cheese with some other stuff in it, and it was way too hot for me. But a lot of guys like to use the hot stuff. Roger Clemens famously used to lather his entire body in the hot stuff, even downstairs where it's not comfortable, just to get himself mentally prepared and pissed off to fight in the game. So anyway, I think that's interesting. Yeah, in this game, surely they didn't throw a lot of fastballs. Look at Logan Gilbert here. I'll take you over to Logan Gilbert here. 15 sliders, 14 splitters, 4 fastballs. Bizzardo's going to lean on his sinker, but he threw some sliders. Castillo was normal. Who else? And that's it for them. But in general, I'd say, the old adage of spin to win, they definitely tried to do that yesterday. But man, this was such a crazy game. Such a crazy game. There was a big hit in here by Leo Rivas, right? Which we'll look at in a second. There's a lot here in the There's a lot of stuff in here. 53% zone swing is really low. It is. Agreed. But that's a lot of ball strikes, or like not pitches that start as balls come back to strikes, or people getting pitches that they're not expecting. So if you're not expecting, you're likely to take as well. So subverting expectations helps to get takes in the zone as well. Hi, Adam. Looking forward a little bit of an influence. How much of an influence would 1 day less rest have for a starter? Would it be seen more in lack of ability to go deeper, velo movement issues from the start? This is not all. There's no clean answer to this question because every situation is different. Even when you have rest, the amount of stress you put on yourself from one start to the next is not always the same. There's days where you cruise a lot. There's days where you really grind a lot. And I don't even think it has that much to do with the amount of pitches. It's more of how much stress per pitch, and also there's other things, the weather, the start times. There's a lot of things that kind of make it unequal. So I will say, listen, some people have pitched unbelievable games on short rest. In theory, if you're good to go, it shouldn't hurt you, and it should actually help your command because you have one less day waiting to pitch. So you're a little more familiar with your release point, your technique in the strike zone. It's a little more familiar to you when it's more recent. I can speak to that as a reliever. One thing I loved about being a reliever is pitching more regularly out in the game. I feel like you don't get as rusty. So as a starter, you're trying to balance that. You're trying to balance it a lot between PCA. Was that a home run? Or was that foul? Foul. You're trying to, as a starter, you're trying to balance like I need rest, but I also need to practice, but I also don't want too much rest because then I'll get rusty. So it's like it's all a balance. So there's no clean answer to this, but yeah, it's something that they don't do all year, and I guess it's just a case-to-case situation, and that's why you don't really know how risky it is until you're inside the clubhouse and you can kind of talk to these people that have to make these starts and figure out kind of where they're at in the moment, because there's a lot of factors that influence how your standing is in that moment physically and also mentally and everything else. All right, I'm just going to skip forward a little bit. Yeah, we should watch Bizzardo. I think you're right. His outing was one of the more important ones of the day. I feel like some of the extra velo gets credit to adrenaline, but I think it's more the drugs. And I don't think it's the drugs. People are taking drugs all year, Mar. Not me. I've found a way to pitch without anti-inflammatories for the last 4 or 5 years of my career, except for maybe a few times a year to nip some things in the butt. But there are people that are slaves to it. They show up to spring training, they take prednisone and dose packs, and they take Voltaren all year long, and they don't really know how to take care of themselves. They just pound pills the whole year. So not a great system, but the adrenaline is a big factor for extra velo. Adrenaline and just the moment and just like your conviction's so much higher. So I give it more credit to adrenaline, in my personal opinion. All right, let's watch Bizzardo, because he was freaking great last night. And this is a guy not a lot of people know about. Kind of bounced around a little bit. I want to do a little background before we watch him. Edward Bizzardo ends up throwing 39 pitches. He pitched in all 5 games this series. He actually faced the same batters over and over and over again in this series. Not easy to do. Not easy to do at all. And I feel like this guy was on the Red Sox for a hot second. Yeah, Red Sox. He was there the year I was there. That's right. He only pitched 3 innings, 2 games, but he was definitely with us. For a second, I got him confused with another pitcher, but yeah, no. He's been around just waiting for his opportunity, and this year was the opportunity. 73 games, 78 2/3. This is already an absurd workload for a pitcher, especially relative to what he's given in the other years. And then on top of that, he just threw in all first 5 of their playoff games. So if they make it the whole way through, he's going to be close to 85, 90 appearances on the season. He's already at 73 plus 5 is 78 appearances, so he's a lock to go over 80, especially with throwing more than 1 inning per appearance. That's a big-ass workload, but he's had a career year. 2.52 ERA in those 73 games and a 1.8 WAR, which is pretty damn good for a reliever. So let's go ahead and watch Bizzardo do his thing. Comes in a big spot. First and second, no outs. They go to do their sack bunt. I think he gets it down here. Yeah, he gets it down, and Bizzardo makes a nice play. There's no play for the lead runner here. Fires it over, gets the lead out. Now, interestingly enough, they tried to run the wheel here, but when the bunt's good, there's nothing you can do about the wheel. So we saw the wheel play work the other night with the Dodgers. Muncy was at third. They tried to do the same thing here. It's the same setup. Suarez is over here. His eyes are over here waiting for the initial move, and then the shortstop's going to try to beat this runner here, and they're hoping that if the bunt comes here, then they can fire it to third. But instead, homeboy does a really good job of bunting it kind of softly right down the middle, Meadows, and there's nothing they can do. They have to take the simple out, and now there's 2 men in scoring position and only 1 out. That brings up to, like I mentioned, he faced Javi Baez, I believe, all 5 games in this series. And Baez had homered off him and had gotten the better of him a little bit. But watch how he chews him up with these sinkers. And this was to save the game. This ultimately was unbelievable leverage. Goes right at him with the first pitch backdoor sinker. Leaves it kind of middle, but gets it up enough, and it's got enough juice on it. 96 for Javi to foul it off. And then they immediately go in after that. And this is a tremendous pitch. Just shatters the bat, gets the grounder, they get the lead out at home, and now you're 1 out away from getting out of it, which he does do on the next pitch. But look at this. So I just want to show you, even though these are both sinkers, utilizing both sides of the plate to get a contact result you really want is huge. The first pitch kind of loops in backdoor, and Javi takes a big swing at it. So now he's in a little bit more of a dive mode to the outside corner to beat that ball to the spot if he gets it again. Instead, what they do is they go ahead and they set up in, and you can even see the target's up in. So they're really thinking, get in on these hands, blow him up hardcore. What does Bizzardo do? He gets it to the spot, and it's just too fast. 97 miles an hour. Javi tries to get extended on it, and there goes the barrel. What a freaking pitch. And infield in, it's just what the doctor ordered. Gets it to Gino, gets it home, and that was a massive out. I want to watch Javi get sawed off from the side. Diablo. That was pretty crazy. So that was a big out. Obviously, you still have to steal the deal. They intentionally walk Kerry Carpenter, and then he's going to have a 4-pitch at-bat with Glaber with the bases loaded. Now, Glaber had a tough night. I feel like he had some opportunities to get the big hit. None bigger than this one. Bases loaded here. I mean, you get a hit here, you're going to win the game. If you hit a double here, it's completely out of reach. But he doesn't. He misses some pitches to hit. And ultimately, Bizzardo comes up huge and gets him out. Now, I just assumed, since this was his 5th game in, 6-7 days, I assumed that was it. He wasn't going to pitch anymore. But he's a freaking beast. He goes back out there for the 13th and punches out the freaking side. This is one of the best relief outings I think I've ever seen in the playoff game. Coming in where he came in, and to not allow a run there in extra innings, in leverage, in a winner-go-home game. And then he comes back out for a 2nd inning, punches the side right through the middle of the order, and then he pitches the 3rd inning. I just can't be any more impressed. This is a little accidental backdoor sinker, but he had tremendous velocity in this game. And he has been electric all year, and it held up today. Torkelson hated it, but that was a strike. Another accidental front door sinker. Vámonos, 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 vámonos. So much emotion in this game. The crowd was great. I feel like the Seattle crowd stood the entire freaking game. So then he goes out for the 14th. He even gets 2 more outs, and then Castillo ends up bailing him out. But I mean, dude, they were down to guys they didn't really want to use in this game anymore. This guy's pitched a ton, but he soldiered up huge, huge, huge. For me, he earned so much respect in this game from his teammates. He was such a big factor in this W, and I'm glad we decided to watch him. He's been incredible in this game. He does get clipped for a double here by Dingler, but he's able to get Parker Meadows looking on another sinker. Perfect execution. Perfect execution. Literally perfect pitch. Look at this. Ball, 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 ball. Strike. Perfect pitch. So that's it for him. And then Castillo bailed him out, getting Javi to pop up. And, you know, big credit to the Mariners. It was a full team effort. All these dudes pitched and pitched and pitched and pitched and pitched until they had enough. They did a freaking great job, man. They were unbelievable in this game. Both teams were, but just wanted to shout out those guys. All right, what else we got here? Career stats, Scooble / Adam. All right, so he's just passed me in career innings pitched, which is sad because I had to chip away at them one at a time for the most part. Yeah, so, okay, so we're similar pitchers for our careers by our rate stats, except he's been doing it as a starter. He's so much better than me, but I like that. That's pretty funny. I believe Wayno was saying that yesterday would have been Logan Gilbert's throwing day coming up a start, so that made it okay for him to go. Yeah, to some extent, but he gave a lot for a side day. And oftentimes in the second half of the season, starters don't even throw their sides. They're just trying to save what they got. Ooh, Terang. Terang just went way back off Kittredge. 3-1 Brewers now, bottom of the seventh. Man, that ball was pummeled by Bryce Terang. We're going to have to watch. We're going to have to switch over to this game in a minute. All right, what else we got? Yeah, I mean, Bizardo was incredible in this game. I just want to, I definitely just want to continue to shout him out. He was incredible. All right, I'm going way down here on the chat. Ooh, my dad. For years, I wanted no off days in the playoffs so that teams would need a whole staff to win. Now I'm worried that what we have now is going to destroy arms. What say you? What says I? You can't have a game every day. I think it's because of the way these games are played. You need to have the travel day built in. You need to have some rest built in. But my God, these arms are definitely going through it in the playoffs. I don't really know what to say about this. It's just like you do need the whole staff to win now. We've definitely figured that out. But I don't know. I don't know what the conversation needs to look like about saving their arms. I will say, if there's one time that I don't really think about it much, it's the playoffs, because it's like this is what you play for. But yeah, it's a big question. All right. So I don't know. Is there anything else you really want to see in this game? I mean, I know Rivas got the big hit. We can show that at bat real quick. He came in against Holton, pinch hitting on his birthday. Cutter strike. And then he gets him on a changeup. Yeah, changeup kind of came into him. Smacks it into left. That tied the game for Seattle. And then obviously they end up winning it against Tommy, which we can watch for a second, and then we'll be done with this one for now. Tommy's inning was weird. I mean, this is the first hit of the inning that kind of undoes him a little bit.
2-2 pitch.
Pretty good pitch there. Better swing. Again, this is a changeup below the zone. The only way you're hitting that is if you're looking for changeup. I think this is ultimately the downfall of Tommy in this game. They were sitting on the changeup, and he didn't throw enough non-changeups to kind of flip the script on him. And they were able to hit some really quality pitches. Look at that. Way down. Then he hits a Rosarena. I feel like Randy's way on top of the dish. This isn't like terrible. But he's also perfectly happy getting hit by this. And that really set the whole thing in danger. Rally lines out. You'll see he even hits a pitch that's pretty far outside the zone. Look at that. So that's a good pitch. The fact that he hit it's kind of incredible. And because of the bad throw, it got them to second and third. They had to do the intentional walk. And then here's the hole at bat versus Polanco that ends the game. I was calling for more fastballs. I know he misses that changeup right there, but I felt like the fact that he swung at it as aggressively as he did kind of tells me he was looking for changeup, even though he was off timing, and he'll make that adjustment. Here was a fastball. This was a pretty good one. No, foul. He throws a pretty good one somewhere. Somebody here? Changeup ball. Changeup pulled foul. And then here he goes fastball. This is a pretty good pitch. I thought he threw some pretty good pitches up. No, this is a bad one. He threw a pretty good one earlier up. But he ended up in a terrible situation. 3-2. 3-2 with 2 outs. I mean, with 1 out. Obviously, you throw ball 4 here, you lose the game. So he's going to go with the pitch that not only he could throw over the plate, the pitch that he throws the most, he's most comfortable with, and the pitch that might generate a chase. Therefore, he goes for the changeup and ends up getting whacked through the hole, and the game's over. But yeah, he got himself backed into a little bit of a corner here. I would have liked to see more fastballs probably at some point in this game. But is what it is. Plenty of time to think about it now, I guess. And Seattle moves on. So congrats to Seattle. They used Kirby, Spire, Brash, Munoz, Gilbert, Pizarro, Castillo. I don't think they really know what their pitching staff is now going to look like. They will have Bryce Miller ready to rock game 1. And I think Brian Wu will be back. That'll be a big deal. But still, this is an interesting situation as Toronto is rested and ready to go. And Seattle's a little banged up. So we'll see how that plays out in game 1 or 2. And if that matters or not, who knows? We're going to find out. Let's see here. This is a good question. Do you think the way playoffs are going so far that higher contact hitters would be more valued? It feels like analytics swung the pendulum too far. The same for pitching. Okay, so I actually had a good conversation about this at dinner tonight with LeMahieu. We were talking about how certain teams, their offensive approach is really geared for the playoffs, like the Brewers or the Blue Jays. And it's almost like in the analytical approach that a lot of teams got into, it works really well for the regular season when you can crush a lot of the not best pitchers, in the league. You can just beat up on a lot of the weaker players. And over the bigger sample size, of course, hitting a lot of home runs and stuff like that will play out really well. But when you get in the nitty gritty of a playoff game and matchups are used to such amazing extent, and then oftentimes the difference in the game is something small, like moving a runner over, getting a guy in, or fighting with 2 strikes. I do think a more balanced approach, certainly not every hitter contact hitter, but if you have a lot more contact in your game, I definitely think that helps you potentially get through some of the best pitching in the playoffs and making things happen. So we're seeing it with Toronto. We're seeing it with Milwaukee. Those are 2 teams that are proof of concept on this right now. And I'm curious to see, how the league continues to evolve with their thinking around the league and the front offices. I years ago, I started to realize that the Dodgers were more playing for the playoffs in the regular season. They're lucky enough to have a big enough pool of talent to get to the playoffs anyway. But their whole thing is like, give me the most talented pitchers. We'll find a way for them all to be healthy at the right time. And then give me a diverse lineup and, with 3 of the best players at the top, but give me a diverse lineup behind that we can mix and match with. And we'll get this thing done, play good defense, be sound fundamentally, and have the top end pitching talent, of course. So, I do think that this is a fair question to ask, and I also think that in a way, if your team operates with a high level of feel, in a way you're actually ahead of these other teams that are only analytics, because then if you're only analytics, you're kind of just ending up in the same place as everyone else. Whereas if you also operate with a high level of feel on top of that, you can kind of perform above that level, in my mind. So that's my answer for that. This is a good one too. Will the scouting ban for 2 months help MLB hopes it will to sustain arm health? I think this is more important in the warm weather states. In New York, you don't really notice it as much. There are some kids that train baseball year round, but more often than not, there's a lot of multi-sport athletes, people who have other interests, the arts, etc. There's lots of other things going on. When you're like in Florida or Arizona or California or Texas, and you can literally play baseball every day, you could find a game or a team to take you on and play baseball if you want year round. I think it's nice a little bit to take the scouting component out of it. Like, hey, you guys can be playing if you want, but we're not watching, and none of this has any value to us. I do think that sends the right message of like, hey, there needs to be a deload period, at least for high level throwing. And I just think also it helps reduce burnout. So I like the idea of it. Of course, we'll have to see. We'll have to see what some of the unintended consequences are, because there always are some of those. So I can't say with any definitive, I can't definitively say anything, but I do think it's worth a good try, and I'm on board with it for now. Yeah, Tommy's delivery makes his changeup hard to hit. He sells it really well. It feels like a fastball's coming. He also has good changeup action as well, but it's a combination of both. All right, what else we got here? Every team's doing this now, Daniel, and honestly, like, they're not incentivized to keep you healthy. They're more incentivized to create maximum efficiency in terms of velocity. So if you can have a cavalcade, a conveyor belt of minimum salary players, pitchers especially, coming through your system and through the high end of your system into your major league roster, that you are optimizing them for maximum velocity and making their stuff play up maximally, then you don't really care if they get hurt, because you'll have another one behind them. You know, so I feel like they say they want to keep you healthy, and like I think there's some effort in some portions of organizations to keep pitchers healthy, but I also think it's a little bit of a runaway train, because at the same time they're also demanding that pitchers chase huge shapes and incredible velocities to even get a shot at getting playing time. You know, when I was with Boston this spring, they're having guys who throw 96 on velocity programs to throw even harder than that. So that's kind of where we're at right now. And you know, the players are scared to death. They're like, well, if I don't do it, I'm not going to achieve my dream. So of course I'll sell out for whatever I have to sell out for. So it's a vicious cycle, and it's kind of scary where we're at right now a little bit. Although then you get to the playoffs now and you realize that the true elite starting pitchers are the ones that are making a big difference. And how are they doing it? Yeah, some of them have great velocity, of course, but there's so much pitchability there. There's other skills that need to be layered in. So if I'm running a team, I'm definitely teaching a lot of those other skills that aren't being prioritized as well, so I can get an edge on everybody else. All right. All right, what else we got? All right, let's catch up on this game. Right now it's 3-1 Brewers in the 8th. They are only 4 outs away from winning this thing. So we better swap over here to Cubs and Milwaukee and get caught back up. This was an interesting game, defined by, in my mind, initially defined by the fact that both teams went openers. McGill for the Brewers, Pomeranz for the Cubs. Pomeranz gets clipped for a home run in the first by Contreras, and then they both go to their bulk guys. Now the Cubs decided that they wanted nothing to do with Imanaga anymore. So they do not pitch Imanaga. They go Colin Ray today, and he did a nice job. 2 1/3, 4 hits, 1 run. He does get clipped for a homer, but ultimately I feel like he held it down enough to get them to the bullpen, which has been used in every game as well. Palencia, Thielbart, and then finally we just saw Kittredge give up a home run to Terang, which I'm going to watch. On the other side, we kind of knew this is the way it was going to go. They were going to hit them with every bit of velocity they had. So they go McGill and then straight to Mizorowski. Mizorowski showed up big time in this series. 1.29 ERA over 7 innings, I would say. Ashby pitched a third of an inning, was a little rocky, but Patrick came in and saved the day. And then Uribe just threw a scoreless 8th. So they're 3 outs away with a 2-run cushion as they head in. So let's go watch what happened in this game. We got runs in the top of the first and bottom of the first, top of the second, bottom of the fourth. Starts with this home run by William Contreras. Now, Pomeranz has been incredible for this club. He's been on a burner, and he finally gets clipped here by William Contreras. 107-1 at 22. Up and away, 4-seam with a little bit of cut on it. You have the actual cut on it. Really impressive swing. Now, this is a bad camera angle, as we've been saying, but this pitch is painted up and away. For you to smack this ball over the left center field fence is really impressive. I just didn't know he was this good when he was on the Braves. I mean, I knew he had pop and everything, but God, he's so good. This guy's really, really good. He just is. I really like the way he holds his hands. He's got them out already, and all he does is kind of like get them back into the slot. Very simple load. I've talked a lot on this show about how I prefer all loading patterns for pitchers or hitters to be as simple and as efficient as possible for minimum error, and that's what you see here. It's simple load, deliver it right to him, and also he's not worried about hip-shoulder separation. He doesn't even get his hip fully open here, which I find interesting. He more so just stays closed as long as he can and then gets through the ball really, really strong here. I mean, that's an impressive swing. The Contreras brothers, they kind of rake. So that's the first run. And then they go ahead and get it right back off Mizorowski. He gets welcome to the game from Seiya Suzuki. Now, after this, he was pretty much incredible. But, I mean, 101-4 to the opposite field. Seiya Suzuki's red hot, too. They need to get him up in the ninth in this game if they can. Because he's been swinging it so damn good. Fastball down, takes it to the opposite field. That was Mizorowski's velocity today. I feel like it was probably pretty good, but probably not as good as that first game. Let's see, he gets a strikeout here from Dansby. 99-6. Oof, hard to hold up on that. Ian Happ. Gonna get him with a fastball.
Out there and make every single pitch the best pitch I've ever thrown, but growing up, this is what you work for, these moments.
I don't know. When I do watch him pitch, like I just wonder what his future looks like. He's so electric, obviously. At times, it kind of comes apart for him. You know, he's too good in a way to only pitch him one inning at a time. Could he be a multi-inning leverage guy? Could he be a starter? And they find a way to make him more efficient over time? I don't know. These are very interesting questions, but he's a playoff weapon. He's the type of guy you need in the postseason because he can just flat out overwhelm you with stuff. What did his breakdown look like today? 23 sliders. Wow. So he leaned slider heavy this time. 17 fours, 14 curveballs. No changeups. Averaged 100.3 on the fastball. Incredible. Velocity's great. Slider, 94.7 on slider. So his velo's up again in this game too. Definitely the playoff adrenaline has helped him. Fastball was really effective today for whiff. 5 on 11 swings. Curveball, 3 whiffs on 6 swings. Overall zone percentage really good, 57%, which is good when you have his type of stuff. And yeah, they didn't really hit him very hard. 86.4 on average. He was a big weapon in this game, no doubt. No doubt about it. All right, and then the Brewers got another run off of Ray. Andrew Vaughn, 7-pitch at bat. Let's watch the whole thing. Interesting because Colin Ray was on the Brewers last year. Now he's pitching against them in a deciding Game 5 of the division series, which I find interesting. Also, you know, he was probably thought of as the last man on this pitching staff, I would imagine, headed into the postseason. But they clearly did not want Imanaga to pitch. Ooh, Suzuki's going to lead off the top of the ninth here. Suzuki, Happ, and Kelly down 2. Last chance for the Cubs. And yet, he gets the call here, and he does a pretty nice job. I know he's going to get clipped here by Vaughn. But it's probably really exciting to be able to step up in a big game and contribute when you weren't really sure if you were going to get any playing time at all anyway. All right, here's the homer. It's a cutter. So back-to-back cutters. Yeah, that's just middle. Just put it on a plate for him. Didn't hit it that good, huh? 104.4 at 23. Pretty good. He just has such good flow in his swing. We noticed it the other day. But when he's locked in, you can see why he was drafted so high out of Cal Berkeley. Yep, so that got them the 2-1 lead. Other than that, it's been pretty clean all around. Palencia did a nice job. Thielbar hung in there. On the Milwaukee side, like I said, Mizorowski did great. He went all the way through the 5th. Ashby got in a little trouble. Single hit by pitch, and then so single hit by pitch. This was probably the Cubs' biggest chance here, unless they do something here in the ninth. Bush with a single. He's had an outstanding series. Finds the hole there. Horner hit by a pitch. This was that bounced hit by pitch when I was watching earlier that happened. Very weird play. Hit the back knee on a bounce. Very strange. But he bears down. So let's watch all these pitches. I'm curious. Ashby 98.5 from a high slot sinker lefty. Very weird pitch, but nasty. Super hard. 99 here. You've seen it a lot lately. Left on left sinkers, man.
One-run game in the 6th. Tucker holds his swing on a breaking ball.
Slider down.
2-1 pitch. Low and away with a slider.
This is a question about Vaughn in the chat. I don't know, man. I looked at the numbers. It's two different players, basically, by the numbers. But I think Vaughn's always been scouted as somebody who could swing it. I think he just got out of whack in Chicago. Maybe change of scenery thing is real in this case. Man, this was a good pitch to hit by Tuck. 3-1. And the pitcher's in deep doo-doo here. And he's able to reach back with 98.8 and blow by Kyle Tucker. I'm shocked that he didn't hit that pitch. And then he finishes him off with another fastball. So this is probably one of the highest leverage at-bats in the game. Tucker gets the 3-1 count, misses 2 fastballs in a row. So, yeah, that was tough. That was tough. What's this question here? Do I know the longest game you ever played in and last inning you ever pitched in? I played in some long ones. There was one at Wrigley Field with the Rockies. I want to say 2013. That might have been like 16, 17 innings. I think the latest I ever pitched was probably like the 12th. So that's my guess. Ooh, can we look at Vaughn's swing path data and see if anything changed? Yeah, I guess we can take a look at that in a minute. I'm cool with that. Abner Uribe going in here now for the save. Falls behind on Seiya, but he's in there. So anyway, Ashby gets him out. They bring in Patrick to face... oh, hit the wrong button. To face Seiya. And this was big-time pitching. This was borderline MVP pitching of this game, was to get through this. Now, Seiya hits this ball pretty good. Chorio's on it. Just doesn't quite get it enough. 101-6. That was a big out, and then gets Ian Happ on a 6-pitch at-bat. Let's watch this at-bat. Because ultimately, this was the last scoring opportunity for the Cubs until now in the 9th. Of course, they have one out, but it's not looking great. Brewers are in a good spot here. 2 outs to go. Pat Murphy looks like he wants to die of nerves a little bit in the dugout. But slurve down, ball. Slurve again. You don't see a lot of slurves. This is, you can see the spike on his big time spike on that slurve. And then what's he get him with? Cutter? It's gonna be backdoor?
Another 2-2.
Yeah, backdoor cutter paint. Holy cow, what a pitch. We don't have a good view of this, but this froze the crap out of Happ. Look at this pitch.
Another 2-2. Called strike 3.
Unbelievable. And he's super juiced. Wow. That was a hell of a fist bump. That was fantastic. That was awesome. All right, so that was the big-time pitching. Uribe's in there now. Fly out, walk, line out, ground out in the 8th, and then he got Suzuki just now to fly out to start the 9th. Another pretty good swing by Suzuki, 100.6, doesn't quite make it again. This is his 2nd warning track fly out of the night. Ian Happ to right, caught by Frelick, 2 outs. Brewers are going to go, it looks like. So it's going to be Brewers-Dodgers in a repeat of the 2018 NLCS. More than likely, if they get this last out. And that's going to be an interesting showdown. Brewers-Dodgers. I do think the 4 best teams have made it. I do. The Phillies, I wanted them. I thought they were maybe one of the best teams, but you know, without Wheeler, they definitely weren't the same. Up, ground ball. That's gonna do it. They beat them. Cubs are done. Brewers hang on. Ooh, Uribe's pimping it at the Cubs dugout. That seems a little much, but big time win, man. Big time win for the Brewers. They lost those 2 at Wrigley. They do an unbelievable job on the mound in this game. This was Happ's line out. I thought he hit it pretty good, but it didn't really go anywhere. So 200-mile-an-hour flyouts. And then Kelly grounds out on the first pitch he sees. And that's it. Do we have broadcast yet? No. Abner Uribe with it's like a 5-out save, something like that. And the Brewers move on. Great pitching performance, and they did it a little bit of an unexpected way. Had Patrick pitched much in this series? I don't think so. We knew Mizorowski was going to be a big part of the formula today. But other than that, I mean, Patrick was huge in this game. He probably had the most leverage in this game for the Brewers. Comes through with an inning and 2/3, 3 strikeouts. Fantastic job by Chad Patrick. All right, we want to check Andrew Vaughn's situation, right? All right, let's see. The wife is texting me. Yeah. Okay. All right. We need to go to swing path and attack angle. We need to go to first. Let's look at his White Sox. Data. Andrew Vaughn. Click that. Now, I don't know if that's going to only show, because it has his hat as Milwaukee. I was hoping that we could get him from the Brewers. Oh, I think it might be different. .2 bat speed, so about a little bit above average. 31 degree swing path, 7 degree attack angle. You know what we should do? We should check him versus last year, because I bet whatever he did last year, probably. This is all just very rudimentary. Let's try this again. Update. Can we go by month? All right, hold on. We're gonna do a whole thing now by month, and we want Brewers White Sox 2025 update, and then we want to go by player name so I can get to Vaughn. All right, Andrew Vaughn over by month. All right, so we'll just go one stat at a time. The bat speed actually increased as the season went on. He went from roughly 70 and then gained about 1.5 miles as he went. Swing path started at 28 degrees, eventually got to 32 degrees. So he got a little scoopier, maybe? Attack angle, slightly less scoopy on the attack angle, though. So more tilt, but coming through it a little more level. Also catching the ball out front a little better. Maybe not. Maybe watching it deep a little more. This is all very confusing. Stance angle. He got less open over time. He was 6 degrees closed to open the season. Holy shit, he was all messed up. Then he went 8 degrees open, 4 degrees open, 5 degrees open, 3 degrees open. All right, hold on. I don't know. Hard to say. It does whatever it is. He got a little bit better with his bat speed. He tinkered a little bit, definitely, when he came over from the White Sox. But just an amazing find, honestly. I looked at his splits earlier. They're just crazy to look at. I mean, with the White Sox this year, he was worth negative 1.8 WAR. He hit 189 with a 210 on base. I mean, crazy. And then he goes 308. So he goes from a 531 OPS with the White Sox to an 869 OPS with the Brewers. And then on top of that, he's crushed it in the playoffs. We're not even counting today. He has 1,000 OPS, and he had a home run today. So probably well over 1,000 OPS for this series. So anyway, bottom line is he did great. That was fantastic. The Brewers deserve it. I do think they're the better team. They proved that out over the course of 162 and then also in this series. Not an easy matchup for them, but either way, I mean, really, really nice job by the Brew Crew in this game. I want to see, now that this is here, I want to see how close this pitch was. This was to being a homer. This is the final inning.
Suzuki flies one to left.
How deep did he catch this? Not that deep.
He said if you have a feeling in the...
Then here was Hap.
Uribe's 1-2, and Hap pokes this to right. Frelick makes the catch.
And then Kelly. Andrew Vaughn getting the nickname King Vaughn after a Chicago rapper after he left the White Sox is hilarious. I think that is pretty funny.
Ball game over. The Brewers will play for the...
Yeah, this was Abner Uribe just totally just rubbing it in hardcore, staring at the opposing team's dugout. Like, celebrate with your own teammates, bro. I never understand that. Anyway, great freaking job by him. Patrick was incredible. I want to see his other strikeouts. Carson Kelly, 96-2.
2-2. Swing and a miss.
Up top. Wow, what a weird little move. Watch the back feet here at the initial delivery here. Steps back and then shifts way back. That's not normal. Changes lanes a la Houston Street. Starts on one side of the rubber, goes to the other before pitching. Pretty interesting. And then he gets Dansby with a cutter.
1-2 pitch. Got him.
Nasty. And the rare time you'll see a guy get to do two explosions of emotion in the same game. So awesome for Chad Patrick. He gets major credit for me in them winning this. Yeah, that is so weird when he moves. You're a fan of this one, Jung? The phone call? Like, you're done? I'm hanging up on you? I think it's pretty funny. All right, so we have our matchup set, which is incredible. It's going to be Seattle at the Blue Jays in the American League. And it's going to be the Brewers at the Dodgers in the National League. I'm picking Toronto and the Dodgers right now. That's my opinion. I know that the betting odds, I believe, are favoring the Mariners. Who do you guys have? I'm gonna go ahead and throw up some quick polls here. In the meantime, oh, I did see that. I want to talk about that in a second. But in the meantime, let me throw up a poll real quick in my chat here. I can only do one at a time, I believe. So we're gonna do Jays or Mariners. Curious what you guys think. Did I see J Ram's comments about Guardians ownership? Yes, I sure freaking did. And I'm curious what they told him when he signed the extension that was extremely under market value. I remember talking about this contract with Lindor before, and Lindor was kind of like, I mean, they don't have any money. I knew they weren't going to pay. Certainly Frankie knew he wasn't going to get paid there, and we were always wondering what was going to happen with J-Ram. He ends up taking extremely under market deal, and apparently there was some promises made there that ownership's not keeping up with. They haven't been spending maybe the same way that he expected or was promised to him, perhaps. Certainly that was the case with Nolan a little bit with the Rockies at one point, and it's definitely been the case with other teams. You kind of say what you have to say to get your asset locked in at your price. But yeah, he seems a little pissed off. He's one of the best players in the game. It's going to be interesting to see how this plays out. It's going to be very interesting to see how this plays out. He seems to be very much the type of guy that doesn't really care, and he's going to say what he wants. So I'll be curious to see how he goes. Ooh, Marcus says it might play out like Devers. So a little bit of a trade possibility for Jose. I don't know. What's Jose Ramirez's contract looking like? I feel like how many years are left on it? I feel like it's got to be a lot, right? God, what a stud. All right, let's go down here. So he's still got 3 more years. He's got age 33, 34, 35, and then he's a free agent at 35. No reason to think he still won't be going strong at that point, although it'll probably decline somewhat. But yeah, they got to pay him 3 more years. Somebody would gladly take that salary and his production. They could get a nice haul for 3 years of Jose Ramirez if they decide to make that play. They could get a nice haul for him at that price. That's a very, very valuable trade asset. And at this point, now that he's pissed off, I'm sure he had a no-trade clause, but now he can drive the bus a little bit on that. I don't know. That'd be interesting to see if they do anything. Just by the way, though, look at his similarity scores. Eric Chavez, Raul Mondesi, David Wright, Cliff Floyd, Mookie. This is pretty good. This is pretty good. Hold on. Does my Jays prediction change if Wu is back at full strength? No. Look, I think Seattle's got a shot. It's just a prediction. It's just a feeling. This is who I'm picking in the moment. I could be wrong. It's baseball. Seattle's very good. I picked them a while ago as one of my best teams in the American League on the strength of this pitching, to your point with Wu. I just think the Blue Jays have a better offense. The way that they hit that Yankee pitching gave me a lot of confidence in them. And they have quite a bit of pitching as well. The Savage factor is real. Seattle hasn't seen him yet. Good chance he strikes out a lot of guys. Good chance they add another starter to their roster, whether it's Scherzer, Bassett, or whatever. I think the Blue Jays have enough pitching to get through the Mariners, and I don't think as much pitching as the Mariners have. I think the Blue Jays hitting with their contact approach has a shot to undo the Mariners a little bit. That's just my thought. We will see how it plays out. It's going to be a hell of a series. I expect just really, 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 really good baseball in this game, in this series. 100%. All right, what else we got here? Ohtani took the pay cuts so the Dodgers could continue to pay for players to be always in contention. He added a clause where if Andrew Freeman's fired, Ohtani can opt out. So the Ohtani situation was super interesting and super unique in that he's rich. He makes $100 million a year off the field. You don't need to make a baseball salary if you're making a tenth of that. It's insane. $60 to $100 million a year and counting off the field. So he could totally afford to do this. In fact, he was the one, him and Nez Balelo, his agent, were the ones that were floating this type of structure to everybody. And I'm sure when this came across, when this paper got slid across the desk and, Andrew Friedman took a look at it, he probably could not believe his eyes because he's thinking they're going to have to lay out and feel a lot of pain with the offer that they're going to have to give to Shohei that's going to get the job done. When they look at that and they think about it from an investment standpoint, how it raises, their ability to market the team and all the ways that this will help them continue to stay in contention and it all just be kind of a compounding interest type of effect, he probably couldn't wait to say yes fast enough. And I guess the only concern was that the commissioner's office would allow it and that, it wouldn't look too crazy because this is the best deal ever for the Dodgers. In the 10 years that they're with him, they'll take that money, the $700 million or whatever they're paying him, and they'll go put it in an account, and that thing will double easily. and then they'll just pay that money later in deferred money, but they'll be laughing all the way to the bank during this 10 years when they have really great teams and huge payrolls, and they're paying Shohei Ohtani $2 million a year, which is freaking crazy. So, yeah, this was big time, but very, very unique. Ooh, we got a Mets trade, fake trade here. This is pretty funny. Nimmo, Sproat, Jet Williams, and Ryan Clifford for J-Rim. Who says no? The Guardians say no. They don't want Nimmo's contract. Nimmo's a really good player, but he's making just as much money as J-Ram, right? So why would you trade that? You wouldn't just to buy these prospects? I don't think so. I don't think so at all. I think they want something different. What's Nims making now? Yeah, about the same. Damn, Nims, you're doing good for a while. $20.5 million for another 5 years. That'll be an interesting one to watch. He works his tail off, Brandon, but it's gonna be very interesting to watch. Yeah, Ohtani set his own contract. That's basically what I was saying. He's the one who gave them the. He's the one that gave them the idea, and the teams were like, "Holy shit, this is a horrible idea. You should never sign this." And meanwhile, they're like, "We need this deal. We need this deal. This is perfect." So Dodgers got the steal of a lifetime with that. Yeah, so that's what I'm saying. That the endorsement money, the money that Shohei's making is so crazy that's the big factor in that Dodger contract. It just doesn't matter for him. He's making buku bucks. Yeah, no one wants Nimmo's contract. That's the thing. Nimmo's a good player, but for this portion of the contract, 33 to 37, teams are going to look at that as an overpay. So I don't think that'll happen. I think he might. I still think he has good years in him. I think he's going to have a couple more good years, actually. But, Jose Ramirez is a different beast for the same price. Different beast. Different beast. All right. Ooh. So Bo's not going to play, but I don't think they've missed him a whole lot. Of course, they'd like to have him. Hell of a player, Bo Bichette. But hell of a player, Bo Bichette. He had a good year too, right? He had going into free agency and everything. Yeah. He killed it. 311, 357, 483, 181 hits. He's led the league in hits a few times. The defense is kind of whatever at this point, but I don't know. I love Jimenez's defense, so that's why I'm not as upset. Also, the way that Ernie Clement just swung it against the Yankees makes his presence not be as noticed. His lack of presence not as known for Bo. But yeah, because you see the defensive numbers now. Diablo. -13 outs above average. Not great. But the bat is legit. So maybe they get him back and they can find a way to DH him a little bit. I don't know. If the running is that bad, then that's not great. That's not great. A lot of Nimmo talk. We'll get through there. Was this new? Salary cap talk? I didn't see any of that. That's going to be an interesting fight that's brewing. We'll see. Thomas White and Connor Normie for J-Ram. You think that the Marlins will pay that money? I don't think the Marlins are in the business of even taking on that contract as good as he is. Maybe. But Thomas White, big-time lefty prospect out of Massachusetts, I believe. Connor Norby already been traded once from the Orioles over there. He hasn't been great yet. I think his trade value is so freaking high. Paul Skeens is the highest probably, but I would say after that, I mean, some of the rookies too, some of the other rookies are really high in trade value, but after that, I mean, Jose Ramirez of the contract guys, he's up there. He's kind of where Acuna was a few years ago in a way where Acuna's contract was so favorable. They could have traded him for a lot. They didn't because they were happy to employ him at that rate, MVP and all that, but man, they were paying him nothing relative to what he's worth. I mean, this is maybe an option. Putting Bo at second, play Jimenez at short. Hope that not a lot of balls get hit and the range factor doesn't hurt you too much. I just don't know. I don't know enough about this. I know that he's probably dying to play. The turf probably doesn't help things. So I don't know. It's going to be interesting. So when does Bob Nutting say F it and trade Skeens for a lot? It turns out to be nothing. Sheesh. I don't know, man. The Pirates are in a weird spot. They're in a weird spot. They refuse. They refuse to pitch. I mean, they refuse to spend money. Like full stop. They refuse to spend it. They have this transcendent talent right now. In theory, this is the moment to trade him. His value is incredibly high. He's still in the minimum next year. And then you can control him for 3 more years and convince him to stick around. Or not. You know, whatever. But you get him ultimately in years 3 through 6, which probably the most valuable time of a player's career in a lot of cases. And yeah, they could get a lot for him. Teams would back up the truck. This is the type of trade where the Mets would back up the truck. It would be Benj. It would be, one of the big pitchers, if not 2 of them. I don't know if you can give up McLean at this point, but, it might have to be. Might have to be a McLean. Might have to be a Jet Williams. Like, you're going to see a lot if it's the Mets in this circumstance. That's why I don't see them doing it. I just don't see them doing it. But some team would back up the truck. You could back up the truck big time from Skeens. It would be ridiculous what you could get. Ooh, we got 72% Jays in the poll. How many votes we got in this thing? 39. Should we switch it to the other series? That seems lopsided enough. All right, let's do one more. I'm pretty sure I know the answer to this already, but let's do it anyway. NLCS. Dodgers. Brewers. Who you guys got? Who you got? Who you got? Give me your votes. Would the Sox back up the truck for Skeens? Who would be in the deal? Well, they can't trade Roman. So it would probably be like Marcelo, Tolley, or Early, or both. Another tough one, because I know the Red Sox believe in a lot of their young guys. I mean, if they opened up, my point is, if the Pirates put him on the block and they opened it up for offers, it would get very interesting what the bidding war would be like. As long as they don't do some dumb Nico Harrison shit and just talk to one team, like in the Luka trade, you're in a similar situation. You have a top 5 talent in the game, and you have a chance to clean somebody out, and that's what you would be looking to do. Clean somebody out and really liking the guys you're getting in return. That's what you'd be looking to do. Because you're not going to get Skeens to sign an extension. I think ultimately that would be the alternate route. You go to him and you say, hey, here's whatever, how many million? I think realistically he's not going to do that. His pedigree is too strong. He's going to go through. And then another possibility would be the Giants. Now this I could see, depending on how much they like, what's his name, Eldridge, and others, because the Giants could take a big swing. But I don't know their prospects that well. So, yeah. I mean, like I said, this would be a fascinating trade if it were to happen. But it's all happenstance now. I think Sandy Alcantara gets moved this offseason, but like that's more common. Like it's guys who are under contract and about to expire or a little further into their careers. Blockbuster early with a guy that's like this unbelievable could really break a team's farm system in a good way. I kind of look at that one trade that the couple trades actually that it's crazy because he got fired, that the Nationals and hasn't panned out in the wins, but getting players in the trade from the Nats like Gore, Wood, Hassel. They also got the catcher Ruiz, Jojo Gray. Like they got a ton of major guys who were going to impact their major league team. And I felt like that was pretty great, like a great haul for the Scherzer, Turner, Soto type of pieces. But they still haven't won anything, so there's no guarantees. Even if you make a trade, you get a huge haul, and you believe in all these guys, it's going to matter. But at the same time, are the Pirates winning with the status quo? We all know the answer to that. Yes, C.J. Abrams as well. Good comment. Good comment there. That's true. From a management perspective, would you rather gamble in a sure thing position player knowing you got to pay them, or a pitcher knowing you got to pay them? Position player. I think overall, I still am in the camp overall of leaning pay position players a little bit more than pitchers. Pitcher just has the injury factor. It's pretty much inevitable they're going to miss an entire year at some point with Tommy John. Also, I think that the competition to be a great pitcher has never been stiffer. There's velocity is created in a lab like this now. Pitches are created in another lab like that. And then if you can figure out the rest of it, which granted is a lot, you already have the first part done with. Whereas to be a hitter, it's never really changed. You got to go ahead and hit those pitchers, and you got to make adjustments on a day-to-day basis and play the shit out of a position and stay healthy and do a million other things. The people who can do that are rare. And so if you have one of them, you believe in that and you lock it in. That's my personal opinion. Skeens, if healthy and having the same seasons through ARB, is going to get something insane. I'm thinking like 400 million over 10. More than that, if he made it through the whole way. If he puts up 4 more seasons like he is right now, then he'll get some ridiculous number, and we can't even think of it right now. It'll be 60 million a year or something. He'll get paid $2 million to start. And this is a good comment about. This is a good comment. Like, there's no lab to make a Barry Bonds. Like you can take it so far, but hitting is just a different beast. The reactive part of it is just different than pitching. Pitching, because you get to start the action, it's just different. And yes, that does make me agree a little bit with Mets management philosophy generally about who to pay, but it doesn't mean I agree with everything. So it's just how it goes. All right, what else we got here? I just saw that Cody Bellinger and Trent Grisham opted out with the Yankees. Makes sense. They both had good years. They're I don't know, Grisham in particular, this is his one shot to get paid. Hopefully he's praying that he doesn't get the qualifying offer here so he can find out his value. Because if he gets offered the qualifying offer, he's going to 100. Balco is a lab. If Grisham gets the qualifying offer, he's going to have to take it probably, because that'll crush his market, because teams aren't going to buy into it. Trent Grisham hit 34 homers this year and hit 235, and in the previous 2 years he had OPSs in the 600s and hit under 200. Like, this is his one shot to get paid, but the only way it happens is without being attached to the qualifying offer. If he is attached to the qualifying offer, he'll be on the Yankees next year. So that's an interesting decision for the Yankees. What do they do here? And for Belly, it makes sense too. He had a good year. He's a very desirable player and fits with a lot of clubs because of his versatility and also his scrappiness. This is one hitter in the Yankee lineup that I do feel like has a mixture of power and contact in his game, and I do feel like is a winning player in a lot of ways, and I would love to see them retain him, but a lot of teams are going to want Cody as well, so it makes sense for him to opt out. This is the business side of the game, and it just makes sense. It just makes sense. I'm so sorry that I used no lab to make Barry Bonds. That was like, but this did it. To be fair, if we want to have this conversation here for a second, the steroids didn't make Barry Bonds. The steroids elongated his career and took him to some new place. But Barry Bonds was the best player who ever lived, best hitter who ever lived, probably before it. He just destroyed it down the line with the steroids. And also a lot of other people were doing steroids, and they weren't Barry Bonds. He also hit a crap load of home runs off pitchers that were on steroids. So, again, is it right? No. Does it taint him a little bit? Of course. But at the same time, I don't really have anything else to go off of except he's by far the best hitter I've ever seen, and I don't think it's even particularly close. And a lot of it is just like his ability. Like obviously the strength and all those things are factors, but his ability to see the ball and to put the fat part of the bat on that ball over and over again versus the best pitchers in the world for as many years as he played. That's really the separator, and that's why I say you got to pay the hitters that are more certainty than the pitchers. Wow, we have so much hotness in the chat. We got a lot of people talking about what to do in man, there's so much free agent talk already. I think Devin Williams does outstanding in free agency, actually. I think he's probably the highest paid reliever in free agency, and if not highest, it'll be in the top 2 or 3. He'll do really, really well. His underlying numbers were still tremendous. I don't think he re-signs with the Yankees necessarily. I just see other teams being in there, and some team's going to throw the bag at him. But I mean, look at the underlying numbers; they were still really, really good overall, as you can see, all red pretty much. So he's going to get paid. This was a weird year. It's really weird to strike out 90 batters in 62 innings with a 1.13 WHIP and have a 4.79. It's statistically unlikely. So I think teams are going to overlook that. So we'll look at that. Postseason performance going to hurt Grisham. I don't think it will hurt him, but I don't think it will help him. If he would have had a better postseason, that might have elevated his status, but he definitely didn't. So, and then Jack Flaherty, will he opt out? So it's kind of interesting. He keeps getting paid pretty well, and I feel like he's a number 4, number 5 starter. I know last year he somehow put up a 3.17. But I don't really see it. I don't really see it with him. I would pay him to be innings eating 4th starter on my team. He wouldn't be one of my main guys. I think he's a really good pitcher, but looking at his overall pitching, hold on, where is this? Overall pitching stats in his career, I mean, the best year was 2019, 275. That's a long time ago now. And then this year was pretty good, 2021, but it's partial, 78. And then after that, it's kind of just, it's mediocre with the bottom line results, except for the year last year with the 2 teams that got him paid this year. And then he puts up a 4.64. I wonder what the number is. $10 million. He's probably going to opt out at $10 million because starting pitchers are getting paid so crazy these days that he'll probably beat $10 million. So that would be my guess. But man, it's wild how a lot of it's his age too. He's going to be 30, so that's perfect age. The algorithms will like him from the teams. The projections will like him. The models will like him, and they will definitely offer him more than $10 million per year. So yeah, he'll probably opt out. Looking at it now. Yankees should pay Belly. I don't disagree. He's so versatile. He can even play first base really, really well. Like I said, he's got 2 approaches at the plate, which I appreciate big time. Okay, we got a lot more stuff here in the chat. Yeah, I've been my top 2 videos. Just, I mean, honestly, my following is heavy Canadian following at this point on my subscribers. I think I got into a Blue Jays Reddit page at some point, and they've been, they've had a number of performances this year that just demanded me making videos. I watched Shane Bieber come back from Tommy John, which was a fascinating moment in this season. I love pitcher debuts, so I got to watch his Savage, and then the game he pitched in the postseason I had to watch, plus Vladdy's at-bats. So it's just so happened that I've done a lot of Blue Jays stuff, and they've been eating it up, and I love that. I love having a big following from up there. It's very cool. Oh, yeah, Diaz. Diaz will probably be, it'll be fascinating who gets paid more. I mean, you might think this is sacrilegious, but I could see a world in which Devin Williams does better than Sugar. I really think that's possible. I know Sugar is better. right now, but what's the age differential? So Devin Williams is how old now? Devin Williams is 31 at this moment. And Sugar is also 31. So they have the same age. Interesting. And Sugar coming off a much better year. Sugar will get paid more. Sugar will definitely get paid more. But it won't be, I don't know if he gets the same deal again. Does he get another $100 million deal? A similar deal, and do the Mets do it? With Stearns not usually wanting to pay a reliever that much money? This is an interesting free agency as well, because he's definitely going to opt out, obviously. So this is another good question. So this is good. I see that there's a lot of appetite for free agency talk. Yeah, so we'll have to see. Ooh, and then this is a factor for the Yankees too. Spencer Jones will be ready for the big leagues in 2026. So that will factor in the Yankees' outfield decisions. Yep. But you know what? He's another kind of home run or strikeout type of guy too. So they might need to balance that out with some more contact. They have so many questions this year. We'll have to see. We'll have to totally see. And then also Jonah Tong is Canadian. That's my third biggest video ever is Jonah Tong's debut. So Canada, a lot of Canada love, which is great. And also now the Blue Jays are making it stand up all the way into the ALCS. So that's awesome as well. Yeah, Devin Williams had the highest WAR out of Yankee relievers in Fangraphs WAR. So fake WAR, but still. Okay, we got some good stuff here. Yeah, Devin debuted pretty late. I think he kind of figured it out kind of late, Devin Williams. All right, well, it's 11:22. The game's pretty much over. Let's just go back and just refresh my memory here of what happened tonight. Cubs Brewers 3-1 win on the strength of a major Brewers pitching performance. McGill is the opener, a former closer this season, and my buddy Big Drip's brother. Mizorowski, he's been such a factor. It'd be fascinating to watch him go against the Dodgers. Now, very early in my YouTube days, very, very early in the YouTube days, I did a little video on Mizorowski versus Ohtani. It was in Jacob's, I believe, second start, big league start, and it was a fascinating matchup. Shohei took him deep the first time. I think Mizorowski strikes him out the second time, and then maybe Shohei walks the third time. So very good matchup. That'll be fun to watch in this series. Also, just the relentless amount of pitching changes that the Brewers are going to make in an effort to stay one step ahead of the Dodgers, while the Dodgers are going to throw some big-time starters at the Brewers. Guys with big strikeout numbers. In particular, some of the matchups I'm already thinking about in my head when it comes to this new series, this Brewers-Dodgers series coming up. Brewers offense versus Blake Snell. They seem to have the perfect type of offense to fuck his shit up. Like, just, you know, like he's trying to get his strikeouts and they just foul him off so much that they either make his pitch count get too high and he doesn't go as far in the game, or they don't allow him to strike out as much. Strike out as many guys, so I could see that being a thing. Same with Glass now. I think Yamamoto will pitch well against them. I feel like he controls the small things well. Ohtani, we're still kind of learning what we have with him on the mound this year. It seems pretty damn electric. Then from a pitching standpoint, who are the low slot lefties that the Brewers have to go against Ohtani? Kind of nobody. So nobody. So I think Ohtani's offense might be back big time in that series. Anyway, there's a lot to get to, and we'll get to it in the baseball and coffees coming up on Monday and stuff when we start doing previews of those games. So that'll be interesting. Another comment here about how Diaz had a tough first year with the Mets and then bounced back to become kind of probably the best ever Mets relief pitcher. John Franco, Armando Benitez. But really, Diaz is going to pass them all if he sticks with the club. So maybe. Jared Koenig, where's his arm slot? This is a good question. Speaking of low slot lefties, Koenig. I'm going to look at this and I'm probably done here in a minute. Koenig, 31-degree arm angle. Okay, so this is going to be the Ohtani whisperer, perhaps. Dodgers Brewers poll, 53% Dodgers right now, 47% Brewers, 47 votes. I'm going to leave that up for another minute. This is good. Brewers need to borrow Pomeranz, Sanchez, Luzardo, and Suarez. That would be a bunch of dudes. And then the Roki factor in the series, Roki versus this team. I think this could be the type of team to annoy him a little bit. Ooh, burpee. To annoy him a little bit. So I don't know. I think I still have the Dodgers big time in the series personally. I think they're the better team. But the Brewers are going to do their best to mess that up. They're going to try to mess up everything the Dodgers have. So it's going to be fascinating. Phillies were elite, and I think that will help Dodgers. I think that's a pretty good comment, Alicia, in that they just faced, some of the best. So that does, oftentimes when you face better competition than you're about to face, you're in a really good spot if it's in that sequence. Man, this chat's been electric tonight. It's tough because I really want to go to bed, but we're doing good right now in the chat, and we're not really even looking at anything. We're just talking, and I like it. The winning team in a series should get to claim a player from the losing team. Imagine Seattle taking Tarek. This is hilarious. It reminds me of, you guys ever play Call of Duty and you play, the gun game where, every time you get a kill, you get a better gun as you go? That'd be, the same thing. You beat a team and you get to take their best player. That'd be fun. Obviously not realistic, but that would be great. That'd be so funny. What do you think about Japanese star Munetaka Murakami? Obsessed with him. Great swing. Big power. Saw him in the WBC when we played against him. Going to play third base for somebody more than likely. Should have a big market. Left-handed swinger. I don't know. Unique player a little bit. Coming over from Japan. Haven't seen too many of this archetype. Hideki Matsui-ish a little bit, but more defense. Little younger at the time coming over, I believe. So excited. Every guy who comes over from Japan is exciting. I love seeing how their game translates. They're in a bit of a dead ball era in NPB, so you can't just go by numbers, but he's been really, really special over there relative to the rest of the league. All right. So, do we have a schedule yet for the CSs? Let's Google that. ALCS schedule. They start tomorrow? Damn, I'm not doing a stream tomorrow on a Sunday, so we're gonna have to cover Mariners Blue Jays game 1 on Monday's baseball and coffee, and then we'll do baseball after dark that night. So yeah, so tomorrow's gonna be no stream. It's Sunday. Sunday's day off, but I'm gonna be watching this game tomorrow night. That's exciting. Mariners Blue Jays, and then we'll be breaking all that down on baseball and coffee. Baseball and coffee on Monday might be a long show because we're gonna have game notes to go over. We're gonna have a game to go over. We're gonna have 2 games to prepare for. So that's very exciting. And then NLCS schedule, that first game should be Monday, correct? Yep, game 1 Monday. So that works out perfectly. All right, so everybody enjoy their Sunday. If you're into football, enjoy that. If you're not, definitely enjoy game 1. Blue Jays, Mariners. Should be really fun. What's the pitching matchup in that game already? I think it's Miller versus Gosman. Let me just... let me go to the main screen real quick. Yep, Miller Gosman tomorrow. So just off the top of my head, it's a good matchup. Anything could happen here. I like Gosman against the Mariners lineup off the top of my head. And Miller hadn't pitched in a while, looked okay in his start versus Detroit. But that's something to check about. All right. They do that kind of sniping in the Caribbean Winter Leagues. Yes, I played in the Dominican League last year for about a month, a little less than a month. There was actually so many rainouts. I only pitched in 3 games, but I was with the Toros del Este in Lidom, and I thought it was freaking awesome. And if I didn't have a whole family and a million things to do, and I hadn't pitched already the whole year, I would have stayed, and I would have loved being there the whole time. Winter ball was an awesome experience. It was really cool. I thought in my quest to be manager, I thought it was important for me to get down there, and experience the Dominican up close and personal, and I'm really glad I did. It was really, really cool. The baseball was amazing. It's just a fascinating environment to be in and to play in, and I loved it. I really, really loved it. A couple more questions, then I'm going to call it a night. Were you offered any other schools besides Northeastern? What made me choose Northeastern? So Northeastern was going to give me a chance to pitch as a freshman, which was important to me. I was a 17-year-old draftee in high school. I was drafted 30th round by the Tampa Bay Devil Rays at the time. So 2 things that no longer exist: the Tampa Bay Devil Rays and the 30th round of the draft. So I was drafted. I wasn't really offered much. That was the old draft and follow system, where they will basically make you an offer before you go to school, so they can follow you throughout the entire summer. They never really made me a formal offer. There was some chatter, but they knew that I wasn't going to sign. I was going to probably more than likely go to college without a significant bonus. Went to college at Northeastern, immediately pitched, which was the plan. Other offers prior to Northeastern: Fordham, St. John's, UConn, although they wanted me to redshirt, which was funny. Notre Dame was a big one, but I wasn't going to get as much scholarship there. And then after my freshman year, I almost transferred out of Northeastern. Now, this was before you could do a free transfer, so I tried to get out and I didn't get released, but I was going to transfer to like either Alabama or Clemson. So 2 big-time schools in the South, because I was worried about being in the Northeast a little bit, but at the same time, it worked out great. My sophomore year at Northeastern, we moved to the better conference, the Colonial Conference, which was a step up in competition. I was able to get into the Cape League, and things were starting to accelerate. So that was kind of the process there. But Northeastern was a great opportunity for me. I started on the weekday games as a freshman and closed on the weekends. And then I got to pitch a game in the conference tournament as a freshman, so that was a big deal. But it's all different now. Now you got NIL and everything, so it's wild. Do I think the opener concept might be coming back? I don't think it ever went anywhere. I just think that it was overblown for a while, and now it's more so teams do it when they have to do it. And like you see it in the playoffs when teams don't have faith in enough of their starters, they feel like they have to do it. So that's why you're seeing it. But overall, I don't think you'll ever see it as much as it was. I mean, it used to be a daily occurrence for a while there. 2019-ish, 2018, 2019, there were so many openers in the regular season, like all the time. And it was too much. As we get closer to WBC, who solidifies their roster spot on USA team next year? So this is going to be fascinating. I'm a big fan of WBC. It's one of my favorite events. I think the Dominican team is going to be freaking incredible this year. Japan as well. USA team will be really good. I'm curious about the pitching. It always comes down to the starting pitching. I love that Skeens is going to play. That's huge. I love that Judge is going to play. So if I had to go off the top of my head, WBC roster, Cal Raleigh catching, right? That's a definite. And then from there, like if you could have Harper play first, that would be good. Matt Olson, Freddie. Freddie's going to play for Canada. So Matt Olson I would like as an option. In the infield, you got to have Bobby. I'd like to see Gunner, but I'm probably forgetting some second baseman right now. Third base. Who's the guy right now? I don't know. It's just fascinating because third base is pretty explosive. Yeah, my wife's saying it's late. Come to bed. Okay, one sec. Outfield could be crazy. Mookie. I don't know. There's superstars everywhere. I actually have to look at it. This will be a fun thing to look at one point. But WBC is great. I really would love to see the starters. If we could get like a Skeens, Skubal, Kirby. I know DeGrom won't, but DeGrom, imagine, that would be so cool. Crochet, wow. Can you imagine that? Yeah, Trey's an option I see in the chat. Kurtz would be fun if they could get him in there. Schwarber will be in there. Yeah, WBC will be great off-season video content. All right. Wife says it's time for bed. It is time for bed. It's 11:35. We got nothing to talk about. I love you guys. Thank you guys for hanging out with me tonight. I will be back on Monday for Baseball and Coffee and Monday night for Baseball After Dark. So enjoy Game 1 tomorrow. Enjoy everything else. And I will see you guys on the flip side. All right. Have a great night, everybody.